Alrighty, everyone. Are we here? We're around. We're doing this. Welcome to Cards Against Containers for a Cause. Thank you for joining us. We have the top people in our industry. We're going to be playing this game together. We're going to have fun. I want you all to participate. I want you all to go out there and vote. We'll talk about the game and the rules in a couple seconds. So for every registration, for every vote, Cystic will be donating to Black Girls Code, helping a really great cause. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun today. Let's move over to player introductions. First, and certainly not last, of course, we have Ahmet Alp Balkan. He's Turkish, but makes pasta better than 90% of folks in Rome right now. He's a Google engineer working on container and Kubernetes Knative projects, such as Crew and Cloud Run. Welcome to the game, Ahmet.
Hello, Dan.
Next up, we have international film star, aka also head of VP of Ecosystem for the CNCF. It's Cheryl Hung. Welcome to the game.
Hey, Dan. Awesome to be here. I think you may have let out my secret, but yes, I am in a couple of movies. We can talk about that later.
Forthcoming podcast, she'll be on. By the way, it drops every Wednesday. Oops, shameless plug, last plug of the day, I promise. Next up, we have Duffie Cooley, displaced Hawaiian, the Pied Piper of Kubernetes, works at VMware. He's the host of TGIK Live. He's a friend to everybody in this Kubernetes game. Welcome.
Good to see all your shining faces. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm going to see how many people we can shock with the answers today. It should be really fun.
Next up, not every day we get to have the open source royalty grace us with their presence. Lord Alex Ellis. Projects such as OpenFaz, Inlets, K3S Up, if I can spit it out, and Arcade. Welcome, Alex Ellis.
Thank you. It's Ketchup, and I'm looking forward to raising lots of money for a really good cause.
My bad, but dude, I owe you one on that one. And by the way, welcome all the folks that are joining. I see a lot of names that I love and respect, and also new people. Thank you for joining and joining us and having fun with us. Next up, we have one of my favorite people in the world. Well, everybody on this whole crew is one of my favorite people in the world, but when they aren't getting harassed by multiple helicopters and treating trolls like they're infant librarians, as in, look it up, baby. They are the lead security engineer at Heroku. Welcome, Ian Coldwater. Ian, are you out there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. I couldn't hear you there. Last but certainly not least, he's a minimalist by day. He taught us Kubernetes the hard way, along the way. He's the greatest living ambassador of our community, the chosen one, the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to see more of that type of intro, I can do it for all day, but I'm just going to say, welcome to the game, Kelsey Hightower.
I gotta try to unmute myself, like technical difficulties. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Also, where can we get the soundtrack for this? Like the opening video sounds like the corporate webinar soundtrack of 2020.
He's starting early, man. He's on fire. Pow, pow, pow. We got him. All right. So let's talk about our deal. This is Chris Kranz is going to be our dealer. He's the head of our sales engineering team at Sysdig for EMEA. I'm going to hand it over to him to talk about the rules of the game.
Cool. Thank you very much, Bob. We will start sharing the screen, and what you should see here is a couple of things. So up the very top of the game window, you'll see the question for that particular round. This is very much like the real physical Cards Against Containers or Cards Against Humanity, if you've ever played that before. The dealer, that's myself, will press the magic button, and that will deal out a random card from the deck. That will be the question cards you can see up here. What you see is that the players have, because we were doing a bit of a tech check, the players have already submitted a card for this first round, so you can see the 6 answers from our 6 players. What you will see in the link on YouTube, you will have a link to the poll. You'll see the numbers on the poll match the numbers on the deck. So if you think that Kelsey Hightower is the right answer to this particular question or your favorite answer, you click on that poll answer and you click vote. We will be monitoring the votes, and I am completely impartial. We have no idea who submitted what cards unless the players audibly give it away. I will be choosing based on your votes. So please make sure you vote. Again, as Pop said, the votes all go towards putting to the cause Black Girls Code. You will see
an
up
amazing cause, everybody. An amazing cause. We really are standing behind it. Everybody on this panel stands behind it. That's why we're here. Cystic stands behind it. So again, every vote, please participate. There's a link in there, as Chris said.
Down the right-hand side of the page, you'll see all of our lovely players, including Pop, who won't be playing but just wanted to be there anyway, along with their score. So you'll be able to see there'll be no fudging this. There's no funny business here. It's all digitally recorded, and we all know, especially Ian, that containers and computers can't lie. They're always the truth. So the numbers here should be the truth. You will also see at the top here, you'll see last round's question and answer, as long as who the winner is. So at that point, we'll finally know who actually had the funniest or smartest or whatever you choose in terms of the best answer. So that's a quick intro to the game. I hope that makes sense to everyone.
So let's get started. If you haven't already, let's get going, everyone. Let's put your votes in, put your choices, and let's go. Chris, it's all in your hands now, and players.
Nice.
So at the moment, we've got a dead heat between the first answers of Kelsey Hightower and the fifth answer. I'm not sure how we've got 7 answers on screen. I'm guessing Pop might be fudging the things there. But so it's there we go. We've got some more votes coming in. So votes coming in thick and fast now. So let's give it a couple more seconds.
I totally don't want to be responsible for this. So if I'm the reason that you're implementing service mesh alone, I apologize.
Service mesh as imposter because of imposter syndrome. I like that one.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut right there.
And I quite like the existential crisis, but apparently the audience don't.
Not a lot of existential crisis fans out there, Chris. I would have told you that before the game.
Cobalt.
All right,
I think Cobalt one.
Yeah.
Do we have our winner here, Chris? What do you think?
I think we do. So hopes and dreams is what the majority of people think. It's the only valid reason for deploying a service mesh. So
I like it.
Select the winner, and we're going to move on to the next poll. So hopefully all your poll screens will have reset. You'll be able to start polling again. So next question is, we don't like image scanning our containers because of what? So over to our players to have a look at their cards. Remember, they've got 10 cards that they've got in front of them. No one can see those except for our players. They're going to choose whatever they think is best fit for this, whether that's comedy or reality.
Well, this is a softball here. So I have, pretty much everybody in this panel is awesome, right? But in terms of 2 specific experts in terms of, security, Duffie and Ian, is like image scanning for containers a necessary evil? I know the answer, but I think our beautiful audience probably deserves a good answer on that one, just outside of the answer we're putting here.
I think it's definitely a necessary evil. I remember hearing a talk that I think it was titled like "Know what the heck is happening in your cluster," which I thought was a great way of presenting this very idea. Like people are just deploying things wildly in clusters. So scanning or having some method for scanning containers is super necessary.
And I think, and I'm sorry to segue here too, I think also, Cheryl, I think that's something that's coming up pretty soon on the Tech Radar. Tech Radar is an awesome thing. I'd love you to talk a little bit about that, about talking about how it's how you're looking through all these technologies that are on the ecosystem and really narrowing it down to, specific security products or, whatever the topic du jour is.
Yeah, totally. The CNCF Tech Radar is a fairly new initiative that we've just launched. And the idea is to find out what's the actual reality of cloud native as seen by end users and sort of get a view across the end user community. So the last one was on continuous delivery. So we'd love to have people kind of chime in about what sort of things do you want to hear about? Like what things are you curious about how end users see it? So just search for CNCF Tech Radar. You can find that.
Awesome. Looks like it's hard. We got a bunch of, look at it. This polls are, we look at a clear leader here. Wow. See that, Chris? Woof.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the audience has definitely spoken. So we don't like image scanning our containers because of don't tell security and they can't sell no. I guess that age-old thing of asking forgiveness and permission definitely resonates with our audience today.
I want to give a shout out to a couple of people that are on the stream right now. I see a bunch of people. So if I don't, say everybody here, but David McKay, hey, what's up there? Siam, how are you? Alistair, hello. Jim Angel, props, brother. How are you? Thanks for joining. Everyone, thanks for joining the show. Please, and again, Sisting just put it up there. There's a vote. Let's get interactive. Let's go, Chris, and let's do another one.
So that last answer there, the most popular one was from Ahmet. Well done, buddy.
Yeah.
So the next question. So
All right, there you go, baby. You did it, man. There you go. Nice. You're on the board, baby.
Next question. I never truly understood DevSecOps until I encountered what?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, my personal favorite here is definitely interpretive dance.
You're leading. Hey, you're supposed to be just a dealer, right? No leading the audience.
Disabling SE Linux to make it work, though,
That's actually what people do.
we all know it,
Isn't that a step in the hard way? Isn't that a step in the hard way, Kelsey?
That's, I think, probably in every Linux tutorial I think that has ever existed, but I could be wrong. Say anything with Red Hat.
I can neither confirm or deny if that's in our official documentation.
Yeah.
Good to know, Chris.
And certainly there's never a curl sudo bash. I've got another clear winner there. And
wow!
I think that's definitely been influenced by the talk there. At the start there, Ian was definitely in the lead. Everyone was quite clear that they never realized DevSecOps until they encountered Ian. But it looks like the audience is swaying that towards disabling SE Linux to make it work. That's far too real.
We've been there. That's why.
All right, I think that is the clear winner now. So disabling SE Linux. There we go. Select that winner. That was Cheryl, of course.
Nice.
Nice win.
I said no comment on whether I've done this before, but
Cheryl's on the board, everyone. Cheryl is on the board. Ahmet, get scared. Ahmet, get scared.
Next question. We implemented a service mesh because of what?
This seems wildly familiar.
It does. It does.
Well, I mean, most companies never do it on the first try, so this is fairly accurate.
We do it right because we do it twice,
And this might be a little bit of a layup. Is there anything you can do? Maybe there's an open source project or something, I don't know, that could help with some of this. I don't know. What do you think, Alex? Is that something you can talk about?
Me, Alex.
Yes, you,
Is
Alex.
there a way of monitoring a service mesh?
Just say in general, just service mesh in general. Like, talk about like inlets. I know inlets it's more of like a,
it's kind of funny. I developed a tunnel because where I was working, we couldn't use ngrok. It was banned by domain name. It was banned by the ports it used, but we really needed to get webhooks. So I built something open source and then kept going from there. And then I realized actually it is a service mesh as well. At least it's like the sidecar proxy that you get with one. And so I think everything is just a service mesh on some level. Okay, so I voted. Am I gonna get it this time? I just want one from the game.
I have faith in you. I have faith in you.
I guess the question for everyone is the internet a service mesh? And if so, then that means everyone already has one.
sweet. You can say I'm done. I'm just like, whatever, I've got a service mesh.
Yeah, same one that everyone else is using.
Nice. I'm right with that.
Ooh. One of my favorite authors, Douglas Adams, did the series on my mind's just gone blank, but he talked about the interconnectedness of everything. Mm-hmm. So I think it goes beyond service meshes, goes beyond the internet. Generally, what I was trying to think of.
It's a heat, 15 to 15. That's wild.
It is a dead heat. Come on, we need a couple more votes. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do the deciding one on this. Let's see if we can get a couple more votes.
Oh, we just give it to Kelsey. We should just give every round to Kelsey. How about we do that? Boom. In. Done.
I'd
You're
like
supposed
to
to go
protest.
first.
To be fair, they're both pretty good answers, though.
They are. So either accepting PRs when drunk or a complete and utter lack of monitoring.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one leads to the other as well.
Come on.
4.
No reason. Just.
We've got deciding vote on for number 4. We do have that. So a complete and utter lack of monitoring. Oh, if I can click the button.
Thanks for participating, everyone.
Come on. In there.
Well done, Alex. Finally got a win.
Yes.
There we go, Alex. Nice. On the board.
Do we
Are
have
we
this
doing
one?
them all twice?
This also
We
feels
have done this
familiar.
one again. So,
I think there's something wrong with the random number generator.
yeah, absolutely.
Can you
blame
do
me for
collisions
this.
with it?
That's embarrassing. Actually, I never implemented a way to deal a new card. It was on my list of to do.
Whoops.
Well, let's go through this again anyway. We don't like image scaling our containers because of. And if we go back to the first question, then I'm going to deem this as an absolute failure. I'm going to be very upset with myself.
And then we can just, segue into talking about everybody's day. How's everybody doing?
This will be the biggest podcast in history.
Thanks.
Is this running on Kubernetes? That's a real question, Chris.
It's not, unfortunately. It is
disappointing.
probably one of the most monolithic applications. It's PHP with MySQL behind it. I wish I could make it more complicated to actually run this in Kubernetes, but there was no justification whatsoever.
That would be a good game question.
Is this running on? Yeah, that's a great one. Maybe we just make up our own questions and then just, have people just.
Is it running out your basement though?
No, it is actually running on Amazon.
Wow. A deep-rooted fear of the security team seems to be taking the crowd.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I think that, again, that's fairly universal.
Woo. That's
We're not
the
scary.
highest vote so far.
Most of the time.
While we're waiting, hey, anybody have any questions for the esteemed panel today? Just so we're, using up some time.
So I think while we're waiting for the questions to come in, I think we do have the clear winner there. So a deep-rooted fear of the security team. I think we've got a failure. That's upsetting. All right, what's the best way to do this? So we could.
Want to try to start a new game and try to have us all join?
Should we start a new game? If I can just ask our production folks to stop sharing my screen, and then for the players, what we do is let's just start a new game.
So while we're doing that, if it's cool, I'm going to ask folks just kind of one by one here. Let me start with Cheryl. Let's talk about KubeCon a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what's going on. Any big announcements that you're gonna want to talk about, and I'll ask the same question of everybody else while we're waiting.
I don't know if there's any sort of big announcements in the sense of like launches or anything we're doing at CNCF, but I think the whole change to virtual events has already sort of thrown everything into a little bit of disarray. I do see some really interesting trends. So for example, some companies are moving much faster towards Kubernetes and cloud native because of all this coronavirus disruption, and it's changing everything. So it's like a good time to change towards adopting Kubernetes. So yeah, I think that, I don't know, like I'm kind of as excited as you are to find out what's happening.
Yeah. So let me ask a question again. So Ian, I'll ask you this question. You've done a lot of conferences, and again, I'm asked the same thing of Kelsey as well. What's been your subtle change to virtual?
What's been what? I'm sorry.
In terms of changing to virtual conferences, what's been that change in, from actually going to them beyond just, being able to see people and all of that? Has it been what's been your kind of subtle mindset change?
Oh, I have to be polite. I'm live. I think that virtual conferences are great because they allow for a lot of accessibility for people who might not be able to make it to in-person conferences for geographic reasons, visa reasons, any number of accessibility reasons. And I genuinely think that's great about virtual conferences, is it allows a lot more people to attend and participate than would ordinarily be able to.
Got it. Okay. Hey, so I think we have a new game idea of 7:36. If you all want to join, I think we're still waiting for a couple more. And thanks for being patient, those of you at home watching.
I have a different question than this.
I don't see you on the game. So is it game? Did you join game 736? Just kind of rejoin.
I thought I did, but I will try again.
There we go.
Ahmet, while we're waiting, hey, do you want to?
You cut off there.
I think we've lost your audio, Pop.
Yeah.
So we'll start with that question while Pop's sorting himself out. So the next question, now that we've recovered the game, again, apologies for that. If you had a university degree in what, you'd be more hireable?
Windows Notepad. Wow, that's throwing it back. I like that one.
This website's proudly designed in Windows Notepad. Remember that.
CI/CD pipelines might just be a little too truthful.
Hey, do you all hear me okay now?
Yep. Got you back.
Yeah, we do.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries, dude.
All right, so we're back on track, everyone. Start voting.
All right. I was going to say
There's a question if there's a link for polling.
so a new link. We'll just stick with the current one. It will get reset with the next round.
Yeah.
Windows Notepad is a clear favorite.
What did people use to write their first website? Do you remember? I remember using Dreamweaver, a WYSIWYG thing.
Microsoft front page.
Really, Ahmet?
Front page.
Wow.
Yeah.
Front page is awesome.
I think I did it right in the GUI and Neopets or something.
How about you, Kelsey? What was it Notepad?
No, actually, I think before Adobe bought Dreamweaver, they had another one. I think it was like a Live or something like that. I remember, you just kind of drag and drop and thought you were doing something until you had to move something by a pixel or two, and then it all fell apart.
Is that to learn those anchors? Remember those anchor points? Oh, that was just brutal. Oh.
And then you open it in IE, and then that's it.
We should bring those blink tags back in GeoCities. Do it properly.
I love that the KubeCon virtual booths for the sponsor stuff has the marquee going that scrolls across the top of the screen. Gave me flashbacks to GeoCities.
There you go.
Speaking of shameless plug, Sysdig's virtual booth. Check that out. Sorry, had to throw it out there. All right, looks like we have a clear winner here, right, Chris?
Absolutely. It is Windows Notepads. It'll be interesting if we had Vim and Emacs up there, or Vi and Emacs up there as well.
And by the way, we will be buying everybody a free copy of Notepad. Everybody will get a free copy of Notepad.
Or you Mac users will be very pleased with that.
Yep.
Do not want.
Next.
I really thought Nginx had a chance.
We finally managed to refactor our old applications into what?
This is so hard.
Look at all these COBOL fans coming out of the woodwork right now.
You did say old applications. Right?
Oh, look, Kelsey's cringing right now. He's like, COBOL. I did a talk on COBOL.
Clearly, the
definitely
answer is
Kelsey.
a new CNCF project. I think we have more CNCF projects than we do on GitHub.
Whatever's trending on Twitter, that's a good one. That actually reminds me. Somebody was asking, like, if you were gonna move to a more senior, if you had 10 years to figure out how to get to a senior position, what would you be studying now to get there? And somebody's answer was COBOL, and I was, are you going for the long game? Like, what is?
It's too long.
Well, you definitely have a job when you're a senior. If you start learning COBOL today, you definitely will have something to do.
You'll
That
be
was that
employable.
person's argument, was that in 10 years, everybody who's currently doing COBOL will not be doing it, and therefore you are guaranteed a job.
Yep.
That's
There you
dark.
go.
That's dark.
Little Black Mirror-ish, but
Yeah.
it can be harsh.
Hard.
Hey, production guys, could you throw up a little Black Mirror blurb, or would we
There
get? We're probably going to get a copyright infringed on that.
I liked that a lot of the other answers in that same thread were like, when you get into the senior levels, the puzzle is about people. Like you're dealing a lot more with people than with hard software problems, which I thought was a solid answer.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we got a clear winner on this round too. Wow,
I think so. And people just,
there has been a lot of just like out of the blue answers. I'm loving this one. Wow.
Dev Null wins it.
Is it Dev Null?
yeah, the majority of people just want to take their old applications and just throw them away. And you know what? Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And let's hope so we've got a winner there on Alex again.
Alex.
The points carry over.
Right.
This
Unfortunately
is,
not. We'll need to remember them and then add them on to the end.
This is all those stickers I send people. But they don't.
Next question up. The highlight of this week's technology demo was what? Yeah, some of the comments in the chat. Team serverless. I guess if you chuck everything in dev null, it definitely becomes serverless.
That's great. If our apps are going to be sunsetted anyway, we might as well just toss them into dev null at the outset. That's great, Rob. Props, Rob. And guess what, Rob? We're going to send you a t-shirt. Just go to Sysdig's virtual booth. We'll send you a t-shirt. Great comment.
Just closing the laptop and walking away. That's a good one.
If you could actually walk outside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wrote these back in January. They'd not aged well.
We should make a COVID edition. Oops. Wait, oops. There, I just brought our monetization down by even mentioning that word. Oops, sorry, everyone.
How to exit Vim. All right.
I would like to remind our contestants to not sway everybody's vote by outwardly saying exactly. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good.
Nice.
I mean, how do you exit Vi? Does anybody know?
Just close the laptop and walk outside.
Oh.
Yeah.
Close the laptop, throw it away. Get a new one.
Alt F4?
I have to admit, I did restart my computer in the early days to get out of VI. I just didn't know what to do. I just restarted the whole thing.
The one that's
there's a large contingent of folks giving VI advice. Nicholas Cole had to exit VI, destroy VM, create replacement. I've been trying to exit VI since 1998. Nice move. Nice.
The one that gets me is actually like every once in a while I forget that like if you hit a particular key sequence you go into recording mode and I'll just see that show up at the bottom.
Yeah.
Why though? Why are you recording?
What are you recording also?
What have I done?
Video?
Like
I love when I first got into doing VMware and you'd click on the VMware console and it would lock your cursor in.
Yeah.
And then if you were in Vi, you couldn't release your cursor in order to Google how to exit Vi. So you were just stuck. That was it. Game over.
All right. Looks like we have another clear winner here, Chris, huh?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think it's definitely true of all this anyway. Despite the chatter, I think it's pretty true anyway. How to exit Vi. Ian, great win. So the next question. My favorite part of working from home is what?
Oh, it's gonna be a tough one.
Hey, Alex, I'm gonna just one quick note I want to ask you about is I think you're doing a webinar with us for the release of Kubernetes 1.19. Is that right?
Yeah, I am.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm looking forward to seeing the blog post from Systig that we can normally rely on a really high quality blog post, just looking at all of the nice features that are coming out, chunky ones, interesting ones. I've been reading it since 1.16, and for the 1.18 release, did a really deep dive into 5 of the features that I really liked, and I'll be doing it again for 1.19. One of the top things I think that's going to come out is, and I need to vote. You distracted me here. Oh, that's a good one.
Oops, sorry, Alex. Try to knock you off your game so somebody else can finally get around, dude.
I just managed to get mine in there. One of the things that I think is important is like this long-term support commitment, and the CSR API for signing certificate requests I think it's going to GA now, along with Ingress. And so I'm looking forward to sort of trying them out, seeing what I can do that will show someone the capability of it in a practical way. So we've got that lined up, I think, beginning of October, probably.
Yep, and you can go to systig.com. We have our /resources webinar for you able to see that. That'd be great. Awesome. This is neck and neck this round. Look at this. I mean, you see it? This is incredible.
Well, we are starting to get a bit of a breakout here. And I think it speaks to everyone working from home and just drinking all day long, to be honest. So it looks like people's favorite activity is accepting PRs when drunk.
Has anybody on this panel accepted a PR when drunk? Look. You know,
100%. 100%. Time.
We got all types of revelations on Cards Against Containers for a Cause today. All types of revelations.
How do you think these PRs get merged? Without any review?
Merged PRs on a mobile when you're just walking about.
Ahmet was with that
Not
answer as
drunk.
well.
Startling revelations here tonight. Startling revelations. Next time you guys are, deployed brew install crew, it'll be like brew install brew with Michelob or something. You completely garbled.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Internet
definitely
trend.
far nicer when you're drunk. I'll say that.
To improve our security, we decided to store all our sensitive data in what?
Uh-oh. All right. I think I see Ian cringing right now at this question. She's like, "Arr!" No?
No comment.
No comment, huh?
I mean, I'm under NDA.
Nice. Logs.
Gotcha.
I like that one.
Kelsey, any sage-like wisdom about sensitive data, or you want to stay clear away from that one?
Yeah, I don't think people even know what that is. You know what I mean? Just the things you don't want to get caught holding. It's a liability, put it that way. But you should probably put it in Jenkins. I think the more you put in Jenkins, the better you'll be.
Yeah. I also like putting it into a layer of the container that isn't the top one, right? So you just override it with the top layer, then your problems are solved, right?
And putting it in a hidden directory in the home folder will never look.
Yep.
No one will ever see it.
Logs are surprisingly hard to really just scrub. I mean, someone was asking me about a part of OpenFAS, and I was like, okay, maybe we can do this, that, and the other. And then I looked at Ingress Nginx. I was like, well, surely this will do it. I'll just copy what I've forgotten his name now, Manuel's done. And they hadn't done it there either. It turned out this is something that people, I guess, generally don't do, or they pay for enterprise stuff for. But yeah, if anyone's got any ideas about projects for scrubbing logs, I am interested.
Have you tried routing them to dev null?
That works.
Nice.
Sure.
Nice move. Really amazing comment here that Ricardo Katz just put is that moment that LGTM means love gin tonic martini. Yep. Another big fan of apparently merging VPRs when we're drunk. Shout out to Ricardo Katz.
I like how the missing number 6 actually has 2 votes. That's
Looks like we got a clear winner again, Chris. Look at that.
So again,
Wow.
access keys in a public repo. And that's just, again, too true. Random story for you. I had a phone call one day. It was Cheryl's good one. I had a
Again,
phone
no
call
comment on whether I've done this before.
I had a phone call from Amazon one day saying that they detected my access keys in a GitHub repo. So obviously I panicked. And I double checked it, and thankfully I hadn't. But I had. It was a company I used to work for about 4 years ago who hadn't changed their contact details and still had me marked as the main contact. There's your story in disasters. Bizarrely, they went out of business 6 months later. Not related. Oops, sorry, I mean to scroll up.
Alrighty.
So next question. We finally managed to refactor our old applications into what?
Augmented reality. That's a good one.
Look, if anybody throws, fluffy puppies and kittens playing together, look, that is just a gimme here. And I'm sorry, like I'm a sucker. Look, I'm a sucker for fluffy kittens and puppies. Sucker.
Only if they're playing together.
I like the eBPF one. It's got so much capability that, like, who knows?
That's definitely one of those Twitter buzzwords.
Do you remember the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that was rigged by coughing? I wonder if anyone's got if anybody's rigging their game tonight and what their signal would be if they were or weren't.
So I just start picking my nose. eBPF. No.
It's wild. It's wild how many different things eBPF means, or like how many different ways people apply it. It's like completely crazy.
I'm
actually surprised people know that.
Surface.
People know what eBPF is apparently.
Invoke has some really cool stuff. Some Inspector Gadget, I think it's called.
That is really cool.
That's on my list of things to try. I asked at the weekend what's on everyone's list of things to try out, and Ian wouldn't tell me, but lots of other people did. I think that's something I need to try.
Shout out to the folks at Kinvolk. They're doing a great job. Awesome stuff. Flat car, all that. And it's just awesome stuff.
Cilium is
a lot
also
of
pretty sweet.
Yep.
System uses a lot of eBPF, right?
We do. Wow, is that a layup? Chris, want to take that one? By the way, shout out to Leo Lorenzo. Thanks for that, Ahmet.
I know, right?
Woo!
I think it was driven by necessity because Google's COS kind of block anything at the kernel level, but they advertise out eBPF. So it was kind of a perfect segue for us to jump in there and grab the monitoring and security data out there. I think our team have also been involved in eBPF to try and make sure we can get that security information out of eBPF. So I think originally it was mostly focused around monitoring data, telemetry stuff. So again, shout out to our team, Loris and co.
Shout out to our friends at Google. GKE is apparently 5-year birthday. Shout out to you all. Right. Tim Hawken, all you fellas out there, all you people, all you amazing people doing amazing things. Shout out.
So again, clear winner here, and it is eBPF. It is the tool to manage, to solve everything.
I like it.
Ahmet.
Take that.
Let's take a pause for a second. Who's in the lead right now? Who is in the lead right now? We need to know. Is Ahmet still in the lead? Alex? Is it neck and neck?
So I'm having a look. Even if we had the scores from the first round, actually no, Alex is correcting the original score. So if we had the scores from the first round, it is Alex by
2-2. I think.
Okay, let's get back in this game. We can't let Alex win. We just cannot let Alex win yet another thing in life, all right? We can't have him win. Sorry.
Let me just see if I can multitask, and this has got danger of appearing on my shared screen, of course.
Hey, production folks, can we get a boo noise? Boo, boo. Nice. Okay.
So next round, the highlight of this week's technology demo was what? I know we had this question, I think in the last game. So I think we're safe for a repetition, but I could be wrong.
I think we're repeating Alex Ellis again. Goodness.
Well, I'm honored to be in the deck. I didn't get into the printed deck, apparently. I wasn't famous enough. But
Next
I am
round.
online.
Next round, brother. Next round.
With his head.
A little late, production folks, but okay, it works.
You remember
I
downloading?
thought they were supposed to. I thought they were
Wow.
supposed to be blameless postmortems.
Hug ops to the production team. Hug ops.
That does remind me of downloading WAVs back in the day on GeoCities for like sound effects.
Those are great. Yeah, I remember those. That's funny.
When you used the phone for actually phoning people. We just couldn't go back to that now.
We got another 15 till we're finished up here. Is there folks out there that are watching? Anything here? Any thoughts? Put it up in the stream. Folks out there as well. Again, we're giving out free T-shirts at the booth in our virtual booth for Assisted.
I have a question to folks. How long before Kubernetes is seen as like legacy technology you would be afraid to even mention?
Ooh. Who wants to take that one first?
Who's a veteran of the OpenStack wars?
Duffie, you better put that hand up.
Yeah, see, yeah. So I guess I won't go there. But yeah, the question stands. Like, because there will be a time where talking about Kubernetes, people will look at you like in a very weird way. And it's like, oh my God, what are those people? How long before we get there?
So, you know, what's funny is somebody, Kyle Bassett from Arctic, shout out to Kyle Bassett. Arctic's awesome partner, Google as well as us as well. 5 years, he's saying. I would stand behind that as well. Because I think, again, even if you think about like what happened with OpenStack, I believe that folks are still in that mid adoption range, but I would say 5 years is probably a good one. I would stand behind that.
There are a couple of lasting parts of it that I haven't seen really show up yet, right? Like the fact that we're taking control patterns and actually making really good use of them. Reconciliation loops, like that whole pattern is a killer pattern. So whatever replaces it, like I don't know how you're going to improve on that yet, you know. But like I could see picking a time. Like I could say like 5 years, somebody's going to go up with something. I know it's going to happen. Like we live in an age of innovation. It's got to happen. But I don't know what that looks like yet.
Yeah, I guess it's probably important.
As a counter example, Linux has been around for yonks and people don't call it legacy. Fair.
Yeah, there is that. But container orchestrators tend to have a very short life, don't they? I mean, Mesosphere was the bee's knees, and then that fell from grace. And then Swarm is looking like a strong contender, got a lot of love in the community. I think if you went to KubeCon and said you're implementing Swarm now, would probably get a funny look. But they all do basically the same thing, aren't running the containers on a cluster. So who knows?
Yeah, interesting, Cheryl.
Ephemeral.
I'm sorry, God.
They are ephemeral.
It's funny, Cheryl. Somebody, Sam Weston, actually totally agree with you in terms of like Linux servers being talked about for 30 years. So I mean, it's I think that, again, there's a time and place for every workload. There's, you know what I'm saying. So I totally agree with the whole ephemeral take on it as well.
As a penetration tester, I deeply disagree with you that there is a time and place for every workload. Some workloads just should not be.
Exactly. Shouldn't be on there without a doubt. I mean, we deal with it on a constant. Like, it's like some people like, oh no, you remember that Dilbert? I hate, it was so overused. It was like, oh, Kubernetes, it was like, we need the cloud. And it's like, it depends on your workload. It depends what needs to be there. Alex, I think you wrote a great blog on that, about how, should you use Kubernetes?
You might not need Kubernetes. And I think a lot of people are like, I thought Alex was meant to be CNCF ambassador. What's he going on about? And actually it was a gradual introduction of like a curve of technology. You start off with just using a managed cloud product with a container. Then you move up to something else, maybe just using Docker, then Compose. Maybe Kubernetes comes in somewhere towards the end of that, or maybe Lambda or something like that. And yeah, definitely, I think there's a curve. And I had a client recently, an old friend, and he was like, I'm running this thing on one VM and we have 200,000 customers on it. And I said, so what's going to happen when that VM basically dies, or DigitalOcean do a forced migration on you, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't think of that," and immediately you're like, oh, "Run Kubernetes because it can restart your code when it breaks." Right, but it wasn't the right answer for him because they didn't have a DevOps team. They had zero knowledge of even how to run 2 replicas of something. And it turned out there's a really easy solution for him. It's just to run 2 of them. And that gets him a little bit further along his journey. And
No
maybe
doubt.
Kubernetes is in his destiny. Who knows?
I'd like to thank Kelsey for dropping that landmine and then walking away from it. Nice job, Kelsey. Good job. I like that. Good, nice setup there, Ray.
I want to hear
most
your
people. Oh, my answer. You have to separate the framework from the intent, right? The framework, tool builders like frameworks, right? We'll do those to the end of time. But the intention, I think people will move on within that time frame, right? Because if your intent is to run an app, at some point you just pick the best platform that does that. But right now, the framework, I think you're right. The framework is extensible enough. It's our new infrastructure shell. That's the way I like to think about it. It's where we run our loops. But the intent-based platforms like the Cloudflare workers, the Lambdas, the Cloud Runs, all of these intent-based things, once the intent becomes, I guess, more clear, like mobile operating systems, right? You just use the framework that's available to you versus making your own. So I think that's going to be interesting. Will there be a better and intent-based compute platform for what we're trying to do?
So totally good, great point. And let's just escape this round, then we can continue on this because I think it's a great topic.
Hey, I like escaping things.
Yeah, exactly. Woo, set you up there, Ian.
So a clear winner again for this round. The highlight of this week's technology demo was number 3, nodding in agreement and having no intention of implementing those truly terrible ideas. And yeah, I can feel that. Ahmet again. Nice answer.
Ahmet, look at that, Alex. Somebody's gunning for you. He's gunning for you.
Yeah.
So Ahmet, we're going to keep talking to make sure that you win this one by just the clock expiring.
Just drop another landmine in, Kelsey. Drop another one in
There you go. This is how I'm helping you, man.
That's good.
Let's see what we got.
Where is the one about not being dressed from the waist down? I think people will go for that.
I'm getting some deja vu again, but my favorite part of working from home is what?
On the intent thing, it's actually kind of interesting to see a lot of the what we consider to be legacy networks actually starting to move toward intent as a model. Wherein, like, if you're going to describe the way applications actually are going to interact, whether it's like in the underlying network or anywhere above, higher up in the stack, people are starting to move toward intent-based models for that stuff, which is really cool.
Explain what you mean for people.
Look, can I segue real quick? Just, I was just thinking of something. Folks, if you're liking this game, by the way, you can go to cardsagainst.io and play it as well. So I'm sorry that there's somebody that came in the channel. If you're loving what you're seeing here, you can absolutely go to cardsagainst.io and play this. This is a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun doing this. So sorry to interrupt everyone.
Duffie, what is intent-based computing to you then?
Intent-based computing. Yeah, that I don't think I quite have a handle on.
Talking about it just now.
No, I was saying intent-based in networking. We've started to move toward intent as a model, right? Where you're
mean
actually
like in an Android app? Or...
More in that, like, if you're going to describe, like, you have different entities in your network, and you're going to describe from the intent perspective what those entities are going to do, what they have access to, what they don't have access to. This is kind of in line with the way that we think about network policy inside of Kubernetes, right? Wherein you could say, this application or this set of things that can be described by this query are able to communicate with these other things as described by that query. And that's actually starting to kind of like move all the way down into like actual switching and routing equipment. Like it's becoming a real thing all the way down to the wire, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, I think once you start to having a true intent-based system, then you can actually be declarative, right? Because you're declaring the intentions. Mm-hmm. Once you start leaking the how-tos and the loops, you kind of have a mismatch. But intent-based computing would be, if you think about Lua as an extension language to Nginx, your intention is to just work on that particular request. Like that's it. That's the only thing you're going to do. And we see it in like the data world, right? Some people are only building these data pipelines, and the compute that they put in those frameworks, Spark, Hadoop, or whatever, they're really just based on your intent to actually do something. Whereas I think most things we do now, I guess you can call it the monolith. It's just deploy this thing, whatever this thing is, right? The intentions aren't clear. This is why I think security is super hard. Deploying them is super hard. Upgrades are super hard because no one really knows what the hell it's doing. So the intention is just not clear. It's just general purpose.
That's actually really
No doubt.
interesting point.
Yep, great point.
So I think we've, without disrupting the conversation, we've definitely got a clear winner for this round. So my favorite part of working from home is only dressing your top half for a video call. And,
And speaking of top halves, we will have t-shirts sent to all the winners out there. Top half, all right? A little cracking for you all. So,
Ahmet is
Ahmet coming through for GCP.
oh my God, nice work.
Stole the lead. Wow.
Don't make me go back. We're tied.
Celebrating 5 years of GKE by winning, Ahmet. Nice work, buddy. Nice work.
I think we should take a 9-minute break right now.
That's true.
Let me get one more round in over here, everyone. You think?
Yeah.
Get one
Speed
more. Let's get
round.
up to 15. Speed round, yeah. Because then we have to get pretty much do our thank yous and our shout outs to everybody. That's cool.
and it looks like my terrible programming, my terrible coding has kicked in again, and we've got some repetition. So I need to go and do some troubleshooting after this one, and I do apologize again for the players, but I hope you still had fun. Anyway, repetition of before. To improve our security, we decided to store all our sensitive data in what? Honestly, there's a lot more questions than this.
Notepad back for the win again.
It keeps coming back. Wow.
It's like Clippy, you can't get rid of it.
For real,
Wow.
I gotta admit, like for all these people out there, like who started with Windows Notepad, no shame in that. I started with Notepad probably too. So
Started. I'm still at it.
Yeah.
Is that not a thing anymore?
oh no, you got me there.
Was I supposed to switch?
It's good.
It's in WSL now. You get Vim. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The
The
truth
new
is, Windows
Notepad-
Notepad powers VS Code. Y'all didn't know that.
Windows Notepad's great. I use it so
And startling revelations here on the game today. Startling revelations.
Yeah.
Notepad. Yeah.
I think the first time I ever created a web page was definitely using a WYSIWYG, but I can't remember what the WYSIWYG was. But it was like somebody's, like visual, put this here, put that there kind of thing.
You converted a Photoshop image into a website. That was a thing at some point. People were taking layers and making websites. So it's like, oh my.
Did we stop doing that?
Yeah. Shout out to all the websites that are still 100% Flash.
Including
I really want to get
What's that?
one more round in this because there's an answer I've been waiting to use the entire time and never found the perfect question for it. So
Well,
if we do this and get one more question, I will submit this answer and it will make me so happy.
Let's go for it then. So we've got a clear winner here. So to improve our security, we decided to store all our secure sensitive data in base64 instead of actual encryption.
Dang, I thought
This was-
too real to the Kubernetes team.
I thought Sticky Notes was going to get me on the map. Dang.
Cheryl.
I feel like this is just a litany of my security problems. I've put access keys into public repos. I've whatever the other one was, I forget. Okay, I'm just going to submit this answer that I wanted to do the whole way long.
Nice.
We finally managed to refactor our old applications into what?
So just let me kind of give the score right now. It's right now we have Ahmed in the lead with 5 points. Alex has 4. This is the total combined points here. Cheryl's got 2. Ian's got 1. Kelsey,
I got
bringing
one.
up the.
I got 1 point on the first.
Yeah, so
one
Ian
before
and
we-
Yeah,
and
so it's
Cheryl got
3.
1 in the last
Okay.
round, so 3 and 2.
Okay, I'm sorry. My production team is not providing me valid data, and there we go. Totally throwing somebody under the bus over here. Okay. So we have, so I'm at 5, Alex 4, Ian 2, Cheryl 3, sorry. Cheryl 3.
Ian 2.
Ian 2.
Last I checked, index 0 was first.
It is neck and neck for Twitter and Craig.
You can feel the tension, everybody. Feel the tension right now.
What happens if we draw?
We have to do another round between you. We have to do another round between you both. Right? That's what we have to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chris. What's the rule? I'm sorry. You're the deal. What's the rules here?
Can we both win?
We all win. Everybody, we all win.
Yeah, everyone wins. You just win the imaginary internet points.
Bragging rights at the next actual CubeCon when we're all together.
We'll get a proper physical game into this. And then you're not susceptible to my terrible coding if we do a proper physical game.
I'm here for this.
What's neat is that so we've done this twice and we get like a different set or a size of array, but we just iterate the array. So it's kind of bizarre, right? Like you get like this time we got 6 questions. Last time we got 2. I'm like, I don't know how I'm dying to know how that bug actually got manifested. Like,
I really don't know. I've got some interesting troubleshooting later.
Anybody out there knows PHP and can give Chris a hand, please feel free to chime in.
The top hint there is that I shouldn't have used PHP in terms of the whole legacy conversation we had earlier.
Fair.
PHP was something I learned, nearly 20 years ago. And it's still the only programming language I learned. And when I came around to doing this, I thought I'd really love to do this in serverless because it just makes sense building this in serverless. But I didn't. I thought, you know what, that's too hard to learn. I'm just going to go away and quickly write it, an MVP in PHP. And then our marketing team loved it and then went away and started advertising it. So I haven't had the time to get round to actually refactoring it.
You all have not had to release software that has, a couple little finicky things. You never had to do that, right?
Never.
No.
Kelsey's
like, when are you going to write in Fortran, right? All right. So how we doing over here, Chris?
Again, we've got a clear runaway winner. So we finally managed to refactor all our old applications into answer 4, which is whatever's trending on Twitter. Again,
what would that be today? I wonder. Let's take a look.
Hightower mesh.
We're going to refactor into AT&T nationwide 5G. That'll be what we're refactoring.
We can refactor everything into 5G.
Yeah.
That's the future.
Nice. It's awesome.
I think Alex managed to pull that away right at the end there.
Wow. It's a tie. We have a tie game, everyone. Ahmet and Alex are in the lead with 5-5, I think it is.
No, Alex pulled that away. So Alex had 2 in the first round. Ahmet only had 1.
Nope.
My maths is terrible. So yeah, no, you're right.
Our production team, not only doing sound effects, has given us 5 points to 5 points. We need to do
What's going on?
School rules.
I've got a different
playoff.
game.
You both have 5.
University degree, and the screen is saying technology demo.
Did you shuffle your hand?
You are in game 35, not game 36. I had the same problem earlier.
I'm in 736. Let me refresh my browser.
The game's decided you can't win, Alex.
Exactly.
Seems like it. Computer's saying no. Let me see if I just submit an answer on this game. Yeah, I've got the wrong question, but the right answer. That's weird.
Nice. This is definitely like one of those nightmares that you have when you've written something and then you present it to a bunch of industry rock stars and it all goes catastrophically wrong.
You can
There
always
are
say
no
you didn't
industry
write it.
rock stars, though. Like, really? Like, all of us have written stuff that is wrong.
I was going to be like, I think this is actually called giving a live demo. I mean, like,
Yeah, exactly.
maybe,
Unless you're Kelsey, in which case nothing ever goes wrong.
no.
So we have a tiebreaker. Since we're pressed for time here, should we give our thank yous and pretty much give it a tie game, have them both be winners as the top, or do we do sudden death?
No, you gotta go ahead and pick this. Don't do that.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Kelsey's the.
Style, everyone's a winner.
Yeah,
Nope, you guys go at it.
So
We'll take it as team serverless, all right?
Death match. Death match.
Bring it on.
Pro
All right.
versus arcade.
Yeah, people want a sword fight.
Okay, so I mean, again, I want to thank everybody for coming because you know we have a tie game, which everybody's clear winner here. Everybody, and also obviously Black Girls Code is a very clear winner for today. Sysdig's gonna be donating. Thank you all for voting. Can I just hand it over to any of you all to give shout outs or any plugs things do you have going on this week or in general? So maybe we could start with Ahmet and Alex, the two winners. Can I go from everywhere else?
Let's go.
Ahmet, you go first.
Ah, man, you put me on the spot there. I don't have a lot going on today, actually. I have managed to not be able to record my KubeCon talks. I don't even have a KubeCon registration, so I'm not able to watch the talks. I have a huge FOMO right now. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'll find a way to watch. But anyway, nowadays I'm really focusing on Crew. We have an interesting release coming up that lets you decentralize the plugin indexes. So a bunch of companies like Sysdig can actually maintain their own indexes and release plugins from there for kube control.
I've really been
Off to you, Alex.
enjoying watching your talks on that, like your whole series on actually Crew and how to use it. Nice work.
Check it out on YouTube.
I'm late to my next meeting, so see y'all and really enjoyed it. Catch y'all later.
Thank you, Kelsey, for joining. We appreciate it.
Kelsey.
Yep. Cheryl, you want to go next?
Wait, was I gonna?
Totally.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I mean,
Alex. Go ahead, Alex. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Go ahead, Alex. Yep.
So end of last week, I launched a new product, the first product, Inlets Pro, and it's a really nice service mesh type thing to connect computers together and tunnel out of really restrictive networks. If you've ever wanted a load balancer in Minikube or Kind, you can get one very, very quickly with that, and it's works just like the cloud. The other thing that happened last week was we released some swag for Ketchup, some mugs and t-shirts. So there's all sorts of swag if you're into it. If you're missing out getting it from the vendor booths, you can go and get some online. And there's loads of cool stuff happening with the open source projects. If you want to know more, the easiest way to keep in touch is Twitter or the Insiders newsletter that I do each week.
Awesome. Cheryl?
Obviously, I'm going to say KubeCon is the big thing for me this week. Come to my keynote tomorrow where I talk about the very first time that I ever touched Linux. And also I am hiring for an ecosystem advocate role. So if you ever wanted to work for CNCF in open source full time, come and apply. Just look it up. It's on Twitter.
She's awesome, and I cannot wait to unleash the podcast we had. We did. It was awesome, and it
was so much fun.
Awesome reason, so much fun. Ian.
Thank you.
No problem.
Like everybody else, I'm doing KubeCon this week. My talk with Brad Giesemann called Advanced Persistence Threats, the Future of Kubernetes Attacks is on Thursday, and it's going to be amazing, so you should come watch it. We've done some attacks that will be terrifying, and I think it will be fun. Also, I'm running for Kubernetes Steering Committee, so if you are a contributor who is eligible to vote, vote for me, and also all of the other good people, because there's 3 seats open, and also everybody is amazing who's running. So don't forget to vote in Steering Committee election. I hope everybody has a great KubeCon. It's going to be awesome.
Shout out to Brad Giesemann. Thank you so much, Ian. And over to Duffie.
This week is about KubeCon for me also, just trying to participate and make people feel welcome and try to make it as real as we can make it, as it is a virtual event. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to TGIK this week. Haven't really figured out what it's going to be on. So if you have ideas or there's something you want to see, hit me up on Twitter or in CNCF Slack or on Cube Slack. Talk to y'all soon.
So lastly, Chris, if you don't mind, I'm going to take kind of some assistic stuff and talk a little bit about that. So everyone, play the game online, like you see in Cards Against IO. Awesome. Play that. You can also order your own deck through Sysdig. There's Cards Against. There's a link there as well. Sysdig will be doing group demos during the week in our booth, KubeCon. We have a lot of stuff going on there. Thank you to our amazing marketing team for, I gave you a lot of crap during this whole thing, but the production team and also like Ella, Jennifer, Lauren, all the folks over there doing a great job. Mike and Matt, awesome job. Thank you so much for everyone. And, Chris, if you have anything else you want to say there?
No, just again, just reiterating the thanks to everyone. Thanks for our players today. It's been absolutely pleasure chatting with you, playing with you, having a bit of fun. Hope the rest of the week is equally fun for you all.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
everyone.
having us. This has been great.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for coming to our show, and good night.